Disclaimer: I do not own many of the pictures and videos used this video. Mappa animation, please do not kill my vibe. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, under fair use. Chainsaw Man is not for everyone, and I'm here to gatekeep.
You shall not pass!
I watched Chainsaw Man, the Reze arc, in theaters the day it came out. And the most pivotal scene as Denji waited for Reze in the cafe with his flowers. I hear a woman in the theater say, "Why is he so weird?" And I swear on everything that I love, she grinded a gear that I did not know was possible to reach. Because it hit me right there and then. Media literacy, on top of basic literacy, is actually dead. Like, flatlined, zeroed, no pulse. Denji, a character who from the moment he was born was shackled into generational debt, abused, and thrown into danger before he ever got a chance to play with a single unbroken toy, before he even learned a single letter of the alphabet. He was a child who was commodified to the point where his biggest dreams are just the bare minimum of survival. A roof over his head, clothes on his back, a warm meal every day, and a couple other things. That profound lack of media literacy goes way beyond just Chainsaw Man or even the anime communities. I mean, we live in an era where people with the same ideals as right-wing Yahtzees, for lack of better terms, will parade around with G.I. Robot as their profile pic. And don't even get me started on fans of the boys who can't tell that their almighty American savior is literally a satire of everything that they stand for. At this point, I can't tell the difference between CBS and Vought News networks. Now, I'm not saying that when watching a piece of media that everyone has to break down the themes, the cinematography, the cultural context of every single show or movie that they watch, but you at least need to try to engage emotionally with what a story is trying to say. Like, you may not know the context of every single movie or book, but if you can't tell me that fishmen in One Piece are a stand-in for people of color, or that Wall-E is literally about capitalism and cannibalistic levels of consumerism, then I'm sorry. You need to lock in, twin, before you piss me off. Honestly, George Bush should have kept leaving children behind, because I swear nobody in my age group was ever held back. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Anyway, back to the main point. I don't think Chainsaw Man is for everyone. Not because it's too violent, vulgar, or weird, even for anime standards, but because to get what Fujimoto's really doing, you have to read beyond the subtitles. You have to jump into the subtext, and that's what makes Chainsaw Man one of the best series ongoing in anime, as well as one of the best movie releases of 2025, period, point blank. My name is Dev Unchained, and today we're exploring Denji, Makima, and Reze in the world of Chainsaw Man, with an emphasis on the most recent film. That sounds like a vibe. Stick around. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I recently just hit a little over 100 subscribers, and I appreciate every bit of engagement on this channel, and my TikTok also at Dev Unchained. Thanks y'all for rocking with me. Let's get into it. Ooh, Denji's just a gooner. Just another degenerate teenager. He's an incel allegory. Oh wow. Such riveting commentary. Because yeah, Fujimoto built his magnum opus on a random horny teen. Right. So Denji's a symbol, of course, a reflection of poverty, exploitation, and deprivation. He was born so deep into debt that he had already sold his kidney and various vital organs before his own 16th birthday. He still owed the Yakuza more than 38 million yen, translating to well over $260,000. He lives in a shed, survives off scraps of bread from the garbage, dreaming of the day he can just spread jam onto his toast. He was never given purpose, affection, or even the idea of care. So yeah, of course his concept of women is gonna seemingly be as shallow as scoring. How can you crave genuine love when you've never seen a shred of it before? Denji's not weird. He's a product of neglect. He's what happens when your only education and socialization is survival. You can't develop identity, morality, or even emotional literacy when everyday life is just about making it to the next morning. Denji also represents the working body as the commodity itself. He's had to sell his blood, his organs, his labor, and eventually even his heart and soul, basically. Most of the villains in the series only want him for his chainsaw devil heart, his utility, his usefulness. He's the embodiment of the worker as product. That's what makes Chainsaw Man horrifying. It's not the devils, or how every system from the Yakuza to public safety milks people like Denji dry, the same way modern systems and institutions milk all of us. And the real twist? We as the audience, while watching, are guilty too. We meme his trauma. We consume his pain for entertainment. Fujimoto doesn't just show the exploitation, he implicates us in it. So of course, a character like Denji, who's never known love, would fall completely under Makima's control. She gives him what he thinks he's been missing his entire life: attention, care, and purpose. Fujimoto himself said Makima was the first character he had a complete image of, inside and out. She personifies dominance, a force of control disguised as nurture. It's easy to see her as just another cold-hearted, evil villain, but she represents something much more. She represents institutions, the kind that can shape and weaponize human beings and even devils into obedient tools in her playground. Makima offers Denji food, safety, stability, but only in exchange for obedience. Her kindness itself is a contract, and Denji, the stray dog who's never been taught to read, signs it without hesitation. She's methodical. Every move she makes is a calculated act of control. That dinner scene with Kishibe, the smile she gives when he calls her a liar, that's the face of someone who knows she's untouchable. I've only seen that face on the most demonic woman I've met in my lifetime. Everything she does is in pursuit of her perfect world under her design and control. The story of Chainsaw Man itself is told in such a way that you're introduced to Makima, the concept of devils, and public safety as an entity, to where you are just as naive about the morality of each. So it's easy to be initially confused, and even charmed by Makima, just as Denji initially was. The devils can easily be interpreted as purely evil based on the fact that that's how Makima presents them to be. Us as the audience are told that they're powered proportionally based on how much society fears that devil. However, to Makima, they are all just tools at the end of the day, and tools that she often can manipulate very well. And then there's Reze, Denji's mirror, his almost love, his brief escape. Reze, as a mirror of Denji, is also a victim of institutions. She's a Soviet experiment fused with the bomb devil. Her mission? To kill Denji. She's sent to kill a reflection of herself, and this seemingly creates that moral conflict within her. Another weaponized human searching for warmth. She charms him instantly. She talks about school, about this normal life. She even teaches him how to swim. She offers what appears to be love without transaction. It's the most human thing Denji's ever been offered, and that's what makes it so tragic. Reze could have killed him in the moment that they met in the phone booth, but she doesn't. She waits, she builds trust, she gives him joy and when she finally kisses him, she takes his tongue. Devastating betrayal. Did she delay this reveal out of calculation? Was this all a part of the plan? Or did she start to fall for Denji? We can't say for sure. I definitely am in the latter camp. And that's what hurts the most, is when it comes to people, even in real life, they can only meet you where they have the capacity. So even if someone wants to run away, even if someone wants to give the world, just as Reze was in her final moments, running back to meet Denji at the cafe, only to be reminded that she just can't. She's reminded that freedom isn't real. Instead, Makima's control, the institution, consumes her too. Chainsaw Man was never about the fights, the gore. That's just the spectacle. What truly makes Chainsaw Man hit different is how Fujimoto writes characters who are brutally honest about wanting to be loved, needed, seen, and even how the world punishes them for seeking those things out. Denji, Makima, and Reze aren't just characters. They're symbols of some of the harshest realities known to man. Denji is what happens when the system chews you up before you've had a chance to grow a conscience. Makima is what happens when love becomes a weapon instead of a refuge. And Reze is the dream of escape that dies when you realize freedom still has a price. Together, they form a cycle of desire and destruction that most people scroll past in favor of the next most poppin' TikTok edit or a good power scaling argument, which, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of fun with those too. But that's my point. Chainsaw Man isn't for everyone, in that if you don't truly engage with it and face the reality of what it's really trying to say about exploitation, loneliness, and the way capitalism trains us to trade our souls for comfort and to still find a reason to put on a smile. So yeah, maybe I am gatekeeping. Not the show itself, but the meaning. Because if you're gonna step into a story this raw, you gotta come in ready to feel something. Because Chainsaw Man isn't about who wins or loses. It's about what's left of you after the fight. My name is Dev Unchained. Thanks for watching.